You can see it for yourself. You can see the documents.
Poor Bill.
Well,
These shit's out there running buck wild in the ether.
that it is. That's why you don't give your stuff up. But I mean, it's that time, you know, it's time that the truth come out. It's time that people know.
Right.
No reason for this information to be suppressed. I mean, people need to know this information. If we're going to be free, then we need to know what the hell to do, you know, instead of chasing our tails. You know, the government loves it. They just, you know, like, oh, look at all these fools just running around doing all these processes. They're never going to figure it out.
Right. Yeah, no shit.
And then the people who actually finish it, you know, they've got them on NDAs or whatever they're doing to keep them on lockdown. No, I mean, we're at the end game now. There's no reason why people shouldn't be sharing this information. If it's all gonna come to an end and it's gonna crash, then it's time for the, you know, the rabbit to be let out, or the cat out of the bag, or whatever term you want to use. It's time. No more bullshit.
No more bullshit. Right?
I don't want to buy your process. You know, I mean, obviously, if you were free, you wouldn't be selling me a process because you would have the white card or the black card. So why would you be on here charging somebody? You know, I mean, now if you know how to legitimately discharge debt, you know, and things of that nature, that's a little bit different. But if you're trying to sell a process, then, you know, it needs to work.
Right.
God's sake.
I mean, there's people out there charging like stupid fucking ridiculous money.
Yeah,
For these processes. I mean, it's unbelievable. I mean, they must like really, really, really be bankrupt.
The sad part is people pay that much money for a process, but they don't have any idea what's been filed or what it consists of, or they don't have any knowledge behind it. I'm like, paperwork is not going to save your ass. You need to know the paperwork, and you need to know thyself, you know, and what you're dealing with and why you're doing it. What's the purpose of it? How do you use it? What is it for? Oh, I paid somebody $6,000 to file a UCC1 for me, and now I'm in the Tennessee court. You know,
Right.
dumbass.
I'm a secured party. Okay, and
Yeah. Oh, if he was a secured party, then he would understand how UCC works, and he would have known that you don't file a lien on something without a security agreement. I mean, duh. That's 101 right there.
Right. No shit. No shit. Okay, for those of you watching, this video is about the W4 process. Some of my results on there. And I actually recorded this, and then after we did the video, we started the YouTube live. So, oh, by the way, you're YouTube live right now, Jesse.
Woo-hoo, I'm YouTube live. What's up?
Yeah, say hello, everybody on YouTube.
Star.
So, all these bondholders seem to be pretty excited about getting paid.
So I challenge anybody watching this that knows somebody that says that they have done the process. Challenge them to come out of the woodworks and tell us the truth. It's time for this information to be released. We all need to know, right? Are we going to take our country back or our lives back if we're all hiding information from each other that could free us? I mean, is it about the mammon, or is it really at the end of the day about becoming free, right? And what good is being free if everybody else around you is a slave? You know, I don't want everybody else around me to be a slave. I want everybody to be free, everybody to pursue life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. You know, and once we get there, mammon won't matter anymore. Money will become irrelevant, right? This whole concept of money. When you have abundance, you don't think of things in terms of money. You know, you've got an abundance of everything. You wake up, you never have to go without. So you never even consider the notion of how much money do I have. It becomes irrelevant. I mean, you got $50 million in your account and you got unlimited credit, for God's sake. Who cares about money, right? Who cares about debt? We're not in the world of the debtor. It shouldn't matter anymore. So we all need to come together. We need to figure out a way to get one process that we can all use that's going to be able to get us where we need to go. And it should be free. And we should all be helping each other achieve it by any means necessary.
Maybe we should do a Kickstarter and put a bounty on that.
Yeah, that might be a good idea. Well, I mean, those people aren't going to need money. They're not going to care about that. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I've seen 2 checks now for multiple 3, 4, $10 million. Okay, with a principal at the top for 269 million. I know it exists. I know somebody, I don't personally know them, but I know of people, and I've seen the check. And the check looks real to me. I mean, only a fool would be trying to duplicate a U.S. Treasury check. You're asking to go to prison.
My second FBI investigation. Exactly that. We're making those bills of exchange, treasury money orders.
And they came to see you, huh? Let me guess, it was because you knew them, not because you were necessarily affiliated with them.
Yep, because I was in prison with them.
Yeah. They probably thought that you were the one who taught them how to do that.
Probably.
Like, oh, the only one that's got enough common sense to do that would be Floyd. Let's go see him. You should have said, no, I think it was Chris Hauser who did that.
No, they found some on me. They were all blank. Everything was blank.
Wow.
Blank promissory notes, UCC form, money orders, site drafts.
Did they take it from?
Bonds.
Did they take the stuff from you?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
And I've never given it.
They say they take you to jail.
Huh?
Going from state pen to the federal pen. No, that's okay. I'm cool with that.
As long as you don't have to come back to the state pen, that's a good trade-off. Hopefully.
Well, I prefer not to be in either, to be honest with you. If at all possible, I'm trying to keep my ass out of jail.
Right.
Whether it's the municipal jail, the county jail, the state prison, or the federal prison, I don't want none of it. I just want my equity. I just want to be left alone. I come in peace.
Did you watch Mark?
Did I do what?
Did you watch Mark Z?
No, I have not. What did I miss?
Mark is reporting bond contact.
We're talking about the RV now, right? Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, bond contacts have lit me up starting a few hours ago. Started getting what they expect to be. Well, I will use what a Zurich contact told me. They expect to be home and well-funded and liquid by Friday evening. He would not give me any more than that on timing. I'm hearing similar news from domestic contacts in Miami and Reno, as well as on the bond front. Bond folks, whatever news they got today really has them excited.
All right. Well, I'm ready. I can't get it one way. If we can't get it one way, we're going to get it another, right?
Absolutely.
We're going to hit it from every angle until we figure it out. I mean, we got nothing but time, and a whole bunch of paper, so we need to put something on it.
All right.
My dad told me he's got a couple million Iraqi dinar too. I was like, good job, Dad. Proud of you for
Okay.
that one. Yeah, he was like, son, I've known about this they've been saying this for 10 years. And now you're just getting on here and you're telling me this. I think it's comical. And I was like, oh, okay, Dad. You say so. He's like, you forget I was in this game way before you were. I'm like, all right, I hear you, Pops.
No,
So when I
it
go to, when I
doesn't
come back,
matter when you get in the game, as long as you get in the game.
right, that's what's important. So I'm gonna go pick up his Iraqi dinar for him. I'm gonna add it to my funds.
No.
Well, he's out of country, so he's not gonna be able to do it.
Oh, okay.
He's in Qatar. I think that's where he said he's at. I
He
know he
should be
needs some
buying up
money though.
all the dinar he can.
Yeah, his wife spends all of his money. He's broke. I'm like, Dad, how do you make so much money and you're always broke? It's like, well, I'm married, son. I was like, okay. I said, rule number one, don't get married. You're gonna be broke.
Yeah, he should be picking up all the dinar he can, man, squirreling that shit away. Doesn't matter if he's like put stuffing it in an envelope and sending it to you.
Right? Or just giving me the money to buy it for him. Either or, it don't matter.
No, it's cheaper over there.
Oh yeah, that's right. It is cheaper over there.
Mhm. Much cheaper.
Well, I'm just ready for them to give us the number. Give us the number to the bank so we can schedule our appointment, sign our NDA, and then go on vacation. And I want to send a letter to my cousin because I was sitting at the, I was making a funny, and I said, hey, man, I never thought I would be a trillionaire. And so we sat down at the dinner table, I forget what we were eating and whatnot. And I busted out the $10 trillion note. And I was like, look, guys, I know this is going to sound silly. I said, but for 150 bucks or whatever it was at the time I paid for it, I said, you can get, 100 trillion of this. And when this happens, you can really literally get rich beyond your imagination. And they just laughed. They thought it was the funniest thing in the world, was mocking me and just thought I was stupid, So I would love nothing more just for that reason alone for it to happen. So I could send them a nice little thank you letter and tell them I paid their house off with that $10 trillion note that I was talking about when we were sitting at the dinner table that they thought was so funny. Was such a ridiculous idea. Only an idiot would buy, some foreign currency. I was like, okay. For $400, could turn it into a million. Even if I only got $100,000 out of all that I bought. I only spent $400. I mean, what's the return on that? That's a ridiculous return.
Well, you could have already sold it and made your money back.
Yeah, I would imagine so. And probably
Yeah.
bought some more. I mean, I haven't really lost anything. I could still sell the currency back right now and probably make 2 times what I paid for it.
Yep.
So I'm not disappointed in it. It's going to be all right one way or the other. I'll get my money back or I'll hit the jackpot.
Hit the jackpot. Going to Vegas?
Yep, for sure. I want to go play roulette. I love roulette. It's my
For
favorite.
Schnivel?
Usually I just go play Texas Hold'em, but the last couple of times I went to the casino, I started playing roulette and I was like, man, I really like this game. This is awesome. So what do you expect by the end of the month in regards to the economy and the future of the dollar and this new digital currency maybe being implemented? Do you see anything within the next 15 to 20 days?
Um, let's see, where should I start with that?
I was the news that I got, they said that the 25th was the day that they were looking at. And they were talking about numerology though, and all those numbers. I think wasn't Lisa talking about that? That's what she was talking about. So by
I
the
don't
20,
know.
by the
We're
20,
we're less than 30 days away from the election. Election is going to be a determinative factor, well, at least here in the United States, on our own economy. Possibly for the rest of the world. And what that would look like is depending on if the House or the Senate flipped during the midterms back over to the Republican control, or if it was a split Congress where the Democrats control the House and
oh no,
Republicans the Senate.
no more Nancy Pelosi, please. Enough.
Well, people got to get out and vote. Realize that they got snookered.
So you're saying the election's coming up for president in November?
No, this is what's called midterms. This is the 2 year.
Okay, gotcha.
And, yeah, it's for all kind of
Congress.
Because the presidential elections every 4 years, U.S. Senate 6, House 2. Then you have all your state elections as well. So every 2 years there has to be an election. And then for some locales, jurisdictions, every year. So that is not far off between now and then.
So I wanted to change the subject here for a second.
Okay.
You remember when we did the affidavit and we rescinded my driver's license?
Surrendered it?
Yeah, we surrendered it. Well, apparently it's still in the system. Because when I got pulled over, or I pulled myself over to see if he needed my help, if there was an emergency, I gave him my identification. And here in the state of Texas, you cannot have a driver's license and an identification anymore. I guess it's probably maybe 5 years ago, so you could have both. And then they changed the law to where you can only have one or the other. So I surrendered the expired driver's license with an affidavit. I got pulled over, I guess it's been about 5-6 days now. And I gave him my state ID, which I was reluctant to do, but I'm not going to argue with the cop on the side of the road. And he decided to take it, and he went and ran the information on there and gave me back the ID, and then put all of my driver's license information on the ticket. He put my old address, where the driver's license was, put my driver's license number on there. Where it says the state, he put the DOT. And I don't think he put the DOT number on there. He just put DOT for state, and then wrote me a 2 citations, one for no registration and expired driver's license. And I was like, wow, he didn't even bother to ask me for insurance. So where was I driving at? I mean, clearly he ignored the DOT number. He's like, I'm not looking at that. I was like, okay. So were we supposed to rescind it, or were we supposed to surrender it?
surrender it.
Okay. And I
It's
wonder,
their form. I just went through there and amended it.
right. Well, somebody was saying that there were two different ways. One way got it cleared and the other way didn't. Was that you that was talking about that? Somebody was saying that. So I don't know.
That
I
was
know that.
probably me, but what I was discussing was a video that I saw that the Bad Wolf and A6 put together. And it's this form, and you have to go dig through your state to try to find that particular form. But it's different from the surrender form, from what I gather. And I haven't gone to look for the Texas form yet.
Well, if we find that form, can we submit it or?
Yeah, and that does what you're describing.
All right. Well, we need to figure out what that form is.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. I just, each one of me.
Well, what would be some search criteria that we would use for that?
I would go watch that video that they did first, because they give you some different titles that they use in other states.
All right. Well, do you have the link to this video you're making reference to?
Possibly I have to go find it, but yeah.
All
Sure.
right. If you would. Oh, and I have a suggestion. Now, whether or not you take the suggestions on you, but I think it would be a lot helpful and it would make people at the end of the day, when they watch your videos, be able to follow along a little faster. So when you start going places, make a note of that URL and put them into your description of the body of what the video is about. Like you have all those other things in there, but you never link the videos that you make reference to or the documents or any of those things.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, dude, there's only one of me. That's why I need a
Well,
video.
I know, and I'm not saying you don't do a great, you do an absolutely fabulous job. And I'm not really, it's nothing I can do to really critique you. I'm just making a suggestion, because when I listen to your videos, I'm always I'll look in that little space there and I'm like, man, maybe you put the video link in there or something, and there's never anything there. I'm like, damn it.
No, because I use the same description pretty much. And you can only put so much in there.
There you go. That's why then.
What video were we talking about?
Just anyone in general, when you start breaking down documents and you're going different places on your URL, websites, and you're talking about different things, if it's this.
No, we were talking about a specific video for that.
Oh, we're talking about Bad Wolf, and I'm not sure what the other gentleman's name.
Yeah, Anthony, A6.
So when are you going to do a video with Bad Wolf?
I don't know, to be honest with you.
I would like to see that. That would be
I probably set one up. It's just me being, have enough time to do it. Getting caught up with everything.
right. I know you're a busy man and you work too, so there is never a dull moment in this man's life.
Right, no shit. Let's see some games.
Oh, we're
I know
live.
you had members only. Yeah, I know you had members only videos. That's strange. Okay. He just did this video. This one, is it ago? Yep. What this one?
So the judge told me that he doesn't recognize the W-8 bin or a non-resident alien, and that anything I file in his court, any motion that I file will be denied. Like he'd already told me beforehand when we were talking on the phone that basically he was going to shut down anything I had to say, and no matter what, all my rights, the only rights I had were the ones that he was going to give me. I was like, wow.
That'd be like a right jab and a right hook, right undercut,
Yep.
no
He's like,
lefts,
I was a, what did he say? I was a,
just rights.
he didn't say sheriff's deputy. He said a
I'm gonna give you
Texas,
nothing but rights.
a Texas
You want your
Department.
rights? You gotta come to me. I'm gonna give you rights. No lefts, rights.
I said, I thought my rights come from God. And he was like, what? Well, they do come from God. I was like, so do my rights come from you? Are you granting me my rights? Because you're confusing me here. I don't understand what you're saying.
Right.
He's like, are you going to talk over me? I'm like, I haven't said anything. You're the one that's doing all the talking. I said, this obviously isn't a meeting of the minds. I said, this is a monologue, not a dialogue. Okay. And then right at the end, it was really the only time I got to say anything. I had to listen to him rant for about 10 minutes.
Oh, really? Just
Tell me
him,
I
huh?
was kept telling me I was a sovereign citizen. He kept calling me you. And I said, no, not a sovereign citizen, and I don't know who you is. He kind of was stopped for a second, and then he thought about what he was going to say, and then he just kept on. And I was like, this is just the most ridiculous conversation I've ever had with another man in my entire life. I feel like I'm talking to a little kid throwing a temper tantrum over the phone because I'm not going to answer his questions or do what he's trying to command me to do.
Right.
You know, and didn't even wouldn't respect the fact that I wanted to be called Jesse, not Mr. Henley. And then at the end, instead of calling me Mr. Henley, he called me Mr. Hensley. I was like, right before he hung up, I said, that's not my name. I should have,
Well,
if I'd have had another phone, I would have slightly in the background, I would have put on that song just loud enough where you could hear it. And the whole time it would have been repeating, that's not my name.
at
That's
least they didn't call you Elmer.
uh, asshole. That's what he was, an asshole.
Yeah, I could have
One
called you
of these
Elmer.
two
Got
days
away
I'll
with
give
that.
you a rest. I'm like, okay, well, do whatever you think you got to do.
Elmer Wayne Henley.
No, I'm not. My name is not Elmer Wayne Henley, for the record.
I know, but you could say that and get away with it. It's like,
We
oh,
are
I love
not of relation.
Elmer Wayne Henley's not a Henley.
Not in my book, he's not. You can call yourself whatever you want, but that don't make you something.
Ooh.
I know lots of people that misidentify themselves all the time.
Okay, here we go.
They're closing out the old account, and that old account has basically been that particular, however they had it set up, a bond, but they're pulling money off the account and accumulates a giant bond. They basically are claiming that, calling that in, and they're starting a whole other account. That's the whole purpose of having you close out your account with state ID. So it's very interesting. It's almost like they're cashing in on the previous setup, and they're starting a whole new one. Probably is, again, it's got different stipulations too, because this thing allowed you to travel free. Sneaky, sneaky.
Back a little bit.
Thing. We don't have it right now. It's not a copy. So what happens is she goes and takes the original. I take the copy. I leave. I'm back the following week. I would like to pick up my general delivery mail. And she says, she goes to get the manager. Manager comes.
All right, I want to say what's up to Jason in Canada. Here in Canada, what is it? I think there's a Canadian version of me up there. His name is the Soldiers Hall, I think. Soldiers Hall. And, he does the same thing up there for you guys as I do down here. But all the people are welcome home. The mouth is good. We're just trying to cut our way through this wilderness. Trey, I see you with the G. You know what it be. Let's see, we got Bill Johnson, Ronald knows. Okay, so for an interview, yeah, just shoot me an email and we'll try to set up something. I mean, I get on the run, man. The wolf can't stop, won't stop. So, but I will catch up with you. So we'll do that. Copper Dragons, that's a cool name. I like that. What's going on?
Hard ass name.
What's that?
It's a hard ass name. Copper Dragons. Yeah. Yo, somebody.
Because of people like you, we've been living this way. Six has been living this way. We got another guy, Honest Thing, who might show up. We'll see. If not, walked in there and they said, "Hey, we're here to do the passport process because this is where you can get it done in 45 minutes. You don't have to wait a month or 2 months." So they go, "Wait a minute. This is what I thought was interesting." The lady goes, "Oh, you guys are all secured party creditors." Now, I've never heard that reference to the passport process. But she goes, "You guys need to stand in line 8. We got you. We know who you are. We know how you guys get down." And they all went in there and got their stuff done with the explanatory statement. No more problems. No, none of that stuff. I was like, so we are making some changes. Let's see, we got to send a special shout out to Lisa B out there. And we got fact check it.
You know, their address and stuff like that. And that right there is the federal jurisdiction. So when I went there to say, yeah, I'd like to get general delivery service, what basically happened was she said, first off, she didn't even know what it was. She was like, "What do you mean?" And I said, "Well, general
inquiry form." His brother, he was like, "Oh yeah, we got that." He's like, "Can I get that form?" He's like, "Yeah." Like, privilege surrender form or something like that, right? So I think he was in
receiving general delivery mail. There we go. You know, so I said, "Well, to be honest, what is your position in this corporation?" He says, "I'm the postmaster." I said, "Are you a trustee?" He says, "Yes, I am the trustee. I'm the trustee and executor." I said, "Really? Well, that's interesting because I'm the beneficiary of this trust, and you're the trustee. He is the beneficiary. I am telling you, I need to receive general delivery service, and I do not need a limit to how long I can receive it. I do not use this address that you have on file anymore." Exactly. So that's what happened. So he says, "Okay, I'll tell you what I can do. Let me look into what I can do for you." I said, "Also, just so you know, I'm not a U.S. citizen. I'm a non-citizen national." He literally says, "That changes everything. let me go talk to my supervisor, and I'll see what I can do to work it out, and then I'll be in touch." So a week goes by. I go in the following Saturday, and I like to pick my mail up, my general delivery mail. So the manager comes out immediately, and she says, "The only 2 ways you can receive general delivery mail." It's the same manager that told me it was only a 30-day limit, right?
You hear this, right, Jesse?
Yeah, I can hear it. I'm listening.
Okay.
The only 2 ways you can receive it is if you fill out a change of address form, or you write your name in care of general delivery, and then the post office city, and then the zip code that it's in. So she got a lesson. She learned that because apparently she didn't know that. And, you know, everybody's basically put on point. So, you know, when you're putting things, you can even use general delivery for your driver's license as well. So, good piece of information for you guys to use. You want to start pulling off the fictional address from all of your identifications as soon as you can.
all right. So I got another one to share. So to answer Jose, if you were born here in any of the 50 states, you by your birth are a national of the United States, also known as a state citizen, also known as a non-citizen U.S. national. Thirst for Truth says, "Great info, A6. The general delivery is a fire way to operate." Okay. I also did a video on, I may not have uploaded it yet, but I'm getting a virtual mailbox. There's a company called US Global that you can forward your mail to them. It sends you a screenshot of your mail and lets you know what you have. You can go down and pick it up if you want. But that prevents people like to knock on your door and harassing you from knowing where you are located, is what all we're gonna say. So check this out. So I haven't made a video on this, so I'm giving you guys this before I even make a video. So the next video, one of the videos I'm gonna make is going to be on forms for surrendering your driver's license. Now, each state has a different form, but they will call it something different. So one of my viewers was like, you know, well, I want to do this. I said, okay, well, you have to do, like, here in the Midwest, it's called a surrender driver's license privilege surrender form, right? So I think he was in New York. So it's educational for New York. So he goes to the DMV. He said, I want a license surrender form. Lady goes, I never heard of that. We don't have that. And you must be watching too much YouTube. That stuff ain't real. So he's like, okay. He's like, so you have no way for me to remove all the information. She's like, I've been here 16 years. I've never seen anybody want to give up their driver's license. So
the first thing they say, I've been here such and such amount of time, and I've never. Well, guess what? You've been here long enough to see it one time at least. God damn it!
So she was like, nope, you don't have it. Another lady coming out of the back, she goes, wait a minute. She's like, I think I can help you. She's like, you mean, you know, where you want to give up your privilege, right? She's like, just pull everything out. He was like, yes. She goes, oh, hold on a second. Goes in the back, comes out with a form, conveniently called the license exception inquiry form. And it is the MP 42T that supposedly does not exist. Now, if you guys go to do this, either there or in any of your other state, you're going to want to ask them, what is the proper form? You have to go in. You're almost not going to find this form online. The lady said, you have to walk in. This is what they told him. You have to walk in, you ask for it, and they are most likely going to tell you that you cannot take the form from the location. You fill it out there because he wanted to get his notarized and all that stuff. And they were like, nope, it's got to stay right here. So he literally yanked it back. He was like, okay, well, thank you. Have a good day. And he left. He goes down the block to the next DMV. He's like, now that he knows the name, he goes, do you have the license exception inquiry form? Brother, he was like, oh yeah, we got that. He's like, can I get that form? He's like, yeah. Like, can I get the number again? It's MV42T. Now they specifically keep these forms off of the internet. So you're not going to be able to find these closed out surrender forms. You have to go into the physical location, ask them for the form to be able to surrender your license privilege. Okay. And the lady told him, yep, just so you know, this is before the previous one. This is going to remove you from the system. This is going to close out your registration. You will not be able to drive. But that's fine. I will never drive again in my life. I don't want the privilege. Okay, so now back to the other place I was talking about. So the brother was like, yeah, bro. He's like, did you go to your school? Like, I can take this. Like, he's like, cool. So he goes, no, I wouldn't have done this part, but he goes back to the first station, the DMV. He goes, what was the name on that form again? Oh, it's the license exception inquiry form. You have to fill this out, but you remember it's going to remove all your stuff. That's what you want? He's like, yeah. And he goes to reach for it. He's like, but remember, he goes, you can't take this with you. He goes, well, I've got one. And she goes, oh, we must have gave you that yesterday when you were here. You weren't supposed to have that. He goes, no, I got it from the other DMV. It's cool. Have a nice day. I just want to make sure it's the same form. So I'm like, yeah. I like, just so you know, this is how when we move, this is how they might pop up. Yeah, that's it. License exception inquiry form. Correct. And it is the MV 42T. Now, like I said, every state has one. They may not know over the phone. You have to go in. If you can't get it from them, you have to ask for the supervisor or manager and tell them you are a private person. you've moved, your status has changed, and you are not allowed to be in that jurisdiction. So everything you have must be closed out. Okay. And then if you're doing this, and one thing I want to say, guys, is just because someone like me or Stakes member present the information, you do not have to do everything we say. I had some person say, man, I followed you for the last couple of years. I did every single thing. That's great. We do it. You don't have to. You find what works for you that you want to do, and then you move that way. Okay. They will always pretty much want you to come back in, but they don't really want to let you out. Okay. That makes them new money. All right.
I just found out something interesting that they were doing over the whole shutdown of the C-19. This actually, I found this out last week. So I think she's from Georgia. She told me what they were doing was when the C-19 happened and everything shut down, they actually came out with a new ID. Now, a lot of you are familiar with the Real ID Act.
And there you go. What do you think about that?
That's pretty interesting. The question I have with that though is if I go in and get rid of my driving privileges, is that going to affect my Texas state ID? Am I going to have to turn that in too? Because I'm not going to be able to do that until I can get a passport. Like I mean, you can't function out in public without some form of identification. So if I give up everything, then I'm not going to have anything. So that.
Passport yet?
What'd you say?
You don't have a passport yet?
No, I do not have a passport yet. So that's one of the next things on my list is to get a passport. Me and Dee were talking about it. And she told me how to get the 5-star passport. So I'm going to work on that. Just got to come up with the money, man. So that's why I'm coming to Houston. Coming to take care of some business. Get some stuff done.
Yeah. One of my buddy that does houses, I told him to call. He called today. They're like, yeah, welcome aboard.
What kind of work does he do?
He buys and sells wholesale houses.
Ah,
But
nice.
he needs money till they close.
Right. I have a feeling that the housing market is going to it's probably going to belly up, and then everybody that's got cash on hand is going to gather up a whole bunch of property.
Absolutely.
It's one of those things you have your nice little wad of cash, and when it happens, boy, you'll be good to go.
Allegedly, yes. Let's see.
Wow, so a surrender form, huh? So the only way we're going to find out what the name of this form is by going into the Department of Transportation and asking for it.
Apparently, yes.
And see how that's going to go. They're going to play stupid and not know what I'm talking about.
Well, it just depends on who you catch. Like that one lady, never heard of it. The other one, oh yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Right.
Probably what you're going to run into.
Well, I know there has to be something. If you enrolled into something, you should be able to unroll from it. So if there's a form that puts you in the system, then there has to be a form that you can fill out that's the counter opposite of that, because that's how nature's law works. There's always a polar opposite. They just hide the polar opposite from you, or have you convinced that there's only one side of the pole. Yeah, there's only this side. There's nothing else to see here.
So once you jelly roll, you can't jelly unroll.
Pretty much.
Okay.
We need to find out when he's coming to town. We need to go. We'll go to one of them concerts. Jelly roll, man. Can't believe you never heard of Jelly roll. What's going on? You're in the music scene. You never heard of Jelly roll?
Where you go? When are you coming to town?
Probably on Friday, sometime this weekend, because my court date is supposed to be on the 15th. So I guess if I want to be honorable, I've got to put on some nice clothes and go up there before 10 o'clock. And I'm going to have to go in plea. So I can already see that I'm going to go in there. I'm going to file special appearance right before I go in. And then I'm going to go in there and object to any plea.
You're
I'm
just
not
completing.
Yeah, I'm not gonna enter into a plea. And then when he enters a plea for me, I'm gonna object twice, and he's gonna say whatever he's gonna do, and I'm gonna ask him to please rule on my objection to preserve the record so that I can appeal.
Doesn't make you any less of them.
And then I imagine he's just gonna go straight to adjudication and start deciding on I'm guilty of these charges and that these are the fines, penalties, and the fees. And then I'm gonna say, okay, well, write me up a bill and let me sign it for you.
You're pleading that. Plead.
No, I'm not pleading shit.
Plead. Plead help me.
Yeah, right. So here, let me call my lawyer for you, my attorney in fact. All right, Floyd, I'm in the courthouse. I need some help, man. What do I say?
Right.
Oh, and you know what? See,
So,
hey, if you're representing yourself, which I can't represent myself, that doesn't make any sense. And I'll make that argument too. You're going to represent yourself? No, can't represent myself. I'm here in the living, breathing man, special appearance. I'm here right now. You see me, you hear me talking. And then, because those attorneys are always on their phones in the courtroom, but you can't be on your phone. And I'm going to be like, well, I'm not an attorney and can't be held to the same standard. And I need to use my phone the same way that they need to use their phone to fact check and to look things up. Yeah, he's going to throw that out. And I get held in contempt of court. What is I guess it's civil court in the justice of peace. It's not criminal, so it's going to be civil. So what, I can be thrown in contempt of court for 3 days?
it could be both.
Can be both for a traffic ticket?
Well,
For a
traffic
non-
is criminal proceeding if the state of Texas is the plaintiff.
Oh, so it's criminal.
Yeah.
Oh, so that means he can hold me in contempt of court for 180 days.
Not in a criminal proceeding.
Well, how long?
Well, it's just his discretion.
Oh, it's at his discretion. Oh,
Judicial discretion.
2 years in jail for a non-moving violation. All right, well,
Oh, no. I'm talking about contempt of court. That's judicial discretion.
yeah,
Either
that's
fine you, admonish you, put you in jail, all three,
well, that's not good.
get some backdoor in-camera action.
Yeah, pretty much. Man, getting screwed. No, that's okay. Wow.
Judge,
Okay, so if I go in on Friday, what would be your advice?
oh, Jesus Christ, I don't even know anything about your case.
It's just two moving or non-moving violations, like no registration, and they're claiming that I presented a expired driver's license.
Did you?
No, absolutely, I did not. I didn't want to have a driver's license. We sent it back via affidavit.
Well,
So-
and you have that affidavit?
No, I sent it to them.
Okay, but do you have another copy, right? Take to court.
Man, I think I do. I don't know if I do or not. Probably not.
I would take it to court.
Yeah, no shit, huh? Well,
Take
it's
that
too
to
late.
court. That resolves you of that issue. Now back to the registration, right?
Well, I don't have that affidavit, so that's not, I can't use that defense
Why not?
because I didn't make a copy of it, and I don't know why I
Why
didn't.
would you?
Yeah.
No,
I know.
no, no.
I don't know why. I don't
Oh
even
my
understand
God,
why. I didn't make a
everybody
copy of it.
get out your virtual tomato and your rock
Just
egg
start throwing
and
it at
throw it at Jesse.
Oh man, Cat, please,
Oh,
get it from you and Floyd. Get out here.
yeah, well, now your peers are going to be coming at you.
Oh,
Sent
man.
off an affidavit with your driver's license and you did not
Make a
a copy.
copy. No, I guess I didn't. I don't know why I didn't. I don't know why I didn't think of that. I
You're
guess I wasn't.
moving too
I
fast,
guess I
boy.
wasn't thinking. Go on, cat. Get out of here.
Moving too fast, boy.
Well, it's too late to do anything about that one, except for go in and
Slow down.
get rid of my driving privileges. I'm here
Take
to
a slow
all of
ride.
my driving privileges. Can you please give me the form? I don't know what the form is called, but I know that there's a form back there somewhere.
Yeah. Well,
I think what I'm going to do is just file special appearance, and then he's going to ask me to enter into a plea, and I'm just going to say, just give me whatever paperwork you need for me to sign. I'm not entering into no plea.
think so, huh?
I guess I'm probably going to have to enter into a plea. There's not going to be anything for me to sign and discharge or him be able to use until I do.
Is there a charge?
No, because I haven't plea yet. That's why they've been trying to get me into a plea. That's why he called me and wanted to talk to me.
Well, okay. And what happened?
Well, I sent back the original presentment before 72 hours per TILA.
Right.
I've got confirmation of signature on that, along with inside of their certificate of service with 3 witnesses,
Uh-huh.
with 2 witnesses. And then in the next one I sent, they sent me arraignment letters asking me to plea. And I sent it back within 72 hours per TILA, rescinded it. And then I've got, I put return receipt. I went and checked the mail today, and the return receipt is not there. But I do have the certificate of service or whatever it's called for the certified mail. I kept that. So I'm waiting on my return receipt, which I don't think they're going to give me. I think that they're going to get rid of it so that I can't use it as proof. Because there's no reason why it shouldn't already be there. We're talking about being in the same city. Granbury's day-to-day mail. They sign it, it gets sent back the same day. Should be in my PO box the next day, and it's not there. So now they're foobarring with my mail.
Who barring who?
Yeah, they're foobarring my mail. They're stopping my due process by not allowing my return receipt to come back signed.
Okay.
I should have told the judge today when I talked to him to just go ahead and send me some papers so that I could sign them. And then I would sign them, but I wouldn't sign my name on them. I'd send them back to him. And then I could have done another return receipt. But instead, he's not going to. He's not going to send. No, he said he was going to, but he's not going to. The court date's on Friday. So he just wants to get me into default, me not show up.
Okay.
He told me he wasn't going to recognize any of my filings, any of my motions if I filed them, and that none of that sovereign citizen stuff, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, I'm not a sovereign citizen. So he's pretty much not going to allow me to say anything. He's not going to recognize none of my documents. He told me that he doesn't recognize non-resident alien or W-8 bin or nothing. I was like, okay. So I don't know. Should I take a bill with me? Yeah, I'm pretty sure he'd like that one. Yeah, Judge, I got a bill for you, but I do have his oath of office, and I do have it authenticated.
Okay.
So I'll file special appearance, and I'm going to file his oath of office on the record too, or in the case, anyways. But they didn't give me my pauper's affidavit. They refused to give it to me. He said, if you don't plea, I can't sign off on the pauper's affidavit. I was like, well, I'm not pleading nothing. What? What did Lisa say? Oh, okay. Lisa said to stick to tax stuff. Well, we're just talking and bouncing ideas here, and I'm asking someone else what they think, Lisa. That's all.
Talking to me?
Well, Lisa's watching the video. She just sent me a text. So I was just
Yeah, of course. Hi, Lisa. The doctor. Somebody call me a doctor.
What's up, Sammy? Ooh, you're a little honorary today, aren't you, Bart? Trying to get me. All right, let's see how it's gonna be. I'll leave you alone, Bert. I don't need my finger cut off. Man. Well, if I'm gonna do the tax stuff, then that means I need to get in here and do a whole bunch of paperwork.
Tax stuff for what? What are you talking about? What are you talking about, Lewis?
Lisa sent me some documents on what she sent in regards to basically putting them on notice, saying that you need certain information for the taxes and whatnot. I think that's just going to piss them off. That's what I think. I think that if I piss them off, they're going to issue a warrant out for my arrest, and the deputies are going to come and find me, and then they're going to put a knot on my head. That's what I think.
Well, you can't W4 sandwich that.
You know, I probably could, and they probably would just switch the case around. You know, but maybe I could just do a W4 sandwich. Well, check this out.
You know, you
I
can
just
try
have
it.
an idea, Floyd. Okay, you do a W4 sandwich in every variation of the name. Okay, and every variation of the name using the same account number. When they hit it, they're going to say, okay, there's not one in that account number there. And then they're going to get to one where the name will come up, but the account number will be different. And then they're going to be like, hey, what's going on here? Why is there a discrepancy? And then you put in your 3949, okay, that this is what you did, so that when they catch them doing it, now you got their ass. It's like setting them up for the trap. Because you know that's what's going to happen. I mean, they've already did it to me in Conroe. They changed the name and the case number. Okay, they're completely different than the original paper that they sent me. I'm gonna try that too. I'm gonna call and get the case number. Okay, and the case number and the name that's on the case. And then I'm going to file the same paperwork because I kept copies of that. All right, and I'm going to send one in every variation of the name with that case number. With the 3949. Gonna get them. And then we're going to see how I like that one.
Think that'll work?
I don't know. I mean, obviously it must have startled them a little bit because, you know, they changed the name, the style of the name and the case number. I mean, they must have been worried about something. Why else would you do that? I mean, if you weren't worried about the IRS coming and getting you in any shape or form or fashion, then there would have been no reason to do anything of that nature.
Okay.
That's, you know, I'm not saying that that's true and correct. I'm just saying deductive reasoning would say, you know, if you think about it, it makes sense to me. I don't know anybody else that's done a W4 sandwich that's had any experience like that where they thought that the warrant went away and then come to find out that they changed the name and the case number. So,
yeah.
But how many people actually thought about sending the clerk of the court, you know, a W4 package? That's what we did. We sent one to the clerk of the court. We sent one to Utah under the fraud division, and then we sent one to 1500 Pennsylvania. And I didn't put a cover letter. I didn't put the cover sheet on the one that I sent to the clerk. I just put the W-4, the response to the W-9, and then whatever else went in there, and the last page, which was the 3949. So I think that's probably the document that startled her when she saw what we were doing. She's like, oh, we know how to combat that. We just play the name game.
Oh, that's not nice.
No. So tomorrow, that's a good idea. I'm gonna write that down on my list of things to do. Go to the Department of Public Safety. Go to what was the name of that? The Bureau, you said it earlier, and I keep forgetting what it's called. Department of Health and
Department of Health.
Yeah, the Department of Health, Department of Public Safety, and then find out what the case number is and what the name is on the case in Conroe. And then start up my new W-4. I haven't done a W-4 in a while. I don't even remember really how to do one. I think somebody was saying now that you actually have to sign the documents. So do you sign the documents or do you not sign the documents? Have you figured that one out yet?
I guess it depends on who you're following.
Somebody was telling me from the Lone Wolf group, come to find out that you were supposed to sign the documents. But I left all of those groups, so I haven't been messing with W-4 or any of that stuff. So I don't know what the new word is on that yet. I guess I could message somebody and find out.
Okay.
Since we don't ever talk about the W-4 sandwich in the channel, I always tell people, I said, nope. As soon as they ask me a question, I'm like, nope, we don't talk about W-4 sandwich here. And then they're like, oh, okay, thank you.
Right. Pretty much anything else.
I mean, they can ask the question. I'm not going to boot them out of the chat room or be shitty to them, but for the most part, we don't know. Nobody in our chat talks about the W-4 sandwich.
No. Let's see. Oh, you do know that Iraq is Parliament's supposed to seat a new president tomorrow.
Interesting.
Mhm. The UN gave an ultimatum telling them y'all need to set up a government or we're going to come in and take over and set one up for you. Probably not going to like it.
Oh, they love that. They'd love for them to go into default.
Well, no, it's not they go in default. They just lose control.
Well, that's what I meant, because they don't have the capacity to run their own shit, can't handle your own affairs. So like everybody else, we got to run them for you.
Well, they do, but it's just there's so much corruption that, can't stop mine. Because if I stop mine, I mean, if I stop yours, it stops mine. Yeah, it's all connected.
Right. House of Cards falls. Well, I want to give out a shout out to Jeff today for taking care of me, being a man of his word. I appreciate that. So if you're watching this or you listen to this video at any time, it doesn't go unrecognized. So I appreciate you.
What did Jeff do? Like not post something?
No, he promised me that he was going to take care of me for something that I did for him a while back. And he just kept his word today. So I just wanted to say I appreciate it.
Okay. Thank you, Jeff. Might have to put him on commissary restriction.
Yeah, well, he's gonna have to no, we're gonna have to talk about that later. It's gonna have to be a consensus amongst everybody, and I don't think that there's gonna be one in that regard. So
yeah, that's a possibility.
He needs to take a step away anyways. He's got to, like he told me, he said, I got to figure this out on my own, Jess. So I got to respect that.
We're just all over the place with so much information. It's crazy.
Right. It's too much information.
Yeah.
And knowing all that knowledge, but not knowing how to implement or what its application is kind of pointless.
Yeah. It's like, pulling books off a shelf. Look at all my books. You
Well,
read
once you
any of
get
them? Nope.
right, look at all
I
these
got they're my
books.
books.
This one tells you how to do this, but I've never went and did it, but I read the book. This one tells you how to do this. I read it, but I've never done it. It's like, okay, what do you have all these books for? You just a book, just gather knowledge, but you don't actually put any of this knowledge into application. That doesn't make no sense to me.
Right.
And once you get the general idea of what's going on and how it works, you don't really need to read every single law in the world. When a specific thing comes or arises, then you go and look up pertinent things that pertain to that. And then from that, you'll learn everything you need to know, because you'll wind up spending so much time in that one little area. And then you'll give an area of expertise in that. And then something else will come, and then you'll have a brand new set of laws, brand new set of maxims, different statutes, different codes, different things that go to pertain to it. It's never the same. So, really, to me, it's about learning how it works. And then when I need to learn about a specific thing, me going and doing the research on it, because there's just too much information, way too much. It would take a lifetime to read all of the case citations and know all the statutes, and, just waste of time.
Oh, it was like that's all you would do all day, every day. Yeah, I've been there.
I mean, I could see it if I had nothing else to do, and I
Yeah,
was.
that's what that would look
But once I resolved that and got away from it, I'm moving on, man. I spent 20 years doing that. I don't need to do it anymore.
like.
I'm done with
Yeah. Why do you think I always say I've forgotten for law that people practice in their careers?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
Every day. I mean, they went to school for a couple years and they got their license. You sat in there for 15 years studying that shit. So you were in class for 15 years and they were in class for 2 years, and all they learned was the administrative process. They didn't learn all the shit that you went through. You're probably more well-versed, more well-read, and know how it works than they did.
Absolutely.
If I was an attorney, you would definitely be my paralegal.
Yeah,
Because I'm not writing no paperwork.
most law firms and attorneys treat their paralegals like shit and pay them shit. Very few make good money. Most of those are civil.
Yeah. Make me do all that paperwork and you're not going to pay me for it? I don't think so.
Yeah, I told you one of my homeboys that I was on wing unit with, he did 25 flat. And he's a part-time paralegal for a bunch of criminal defense attorneys here in Houston.
They don't pay him shit?
Not, nothing like what you think.
Shut up, cat. All right, well, I got about 5% on my phone.
All right, man. Well, yeah, I'm going to cut this short too.
I enjoyed this conversation. I
Is that what that was?
I want to go back and watch it again and listen to what he says about the.
You're going to watch the conversation? You're going to listen to the video?
I'm going to fast forward to the part to where the video comes on.
It's not much
I don't need to hear myself talk.
That's from the live video, but okay, cool, man. All right, kids. Well, thanks for hanging out with us on this impromptu live video version, discussing the W4 results from my own filings. All right, Jesse. Okay, brother, you got call me tomorrow, man. Let me know when your schedule dictates your arrival in H-Town.
All right, will do. I'll keep you informed. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir, brother. Good night.
Good night.
And there we go, kids. We have Jesse Wayne Anthony joining me on the Fearless Floyd Show. There I am. FearlessFloydShow.com. The Fearless Floyd Show on Yahoo. On Yahoo. Not on Yahoo. On YouTube. BitChute, Rumble, Telegram, Cash App, PayPal, FMO. FierceFloydShow@yahoo.com would be my email address. Like, subscribe, share, leave a comment. Hit the notification bell so you know when I put out more videos like this. You will be notified immediately. We will. All right.